Why is the film Titanic so beloved? Why do you think it's so beloved?
I don't know. I mean, I just watched it recently for
Yeah?
the first time. And it was good. I mean, I think everybody thinks, what would I have done on that boat if it had sank? And it's just an interesting thing to watch. That's personally why I think. And the actors, I feel like, are good and everything. That's my theory. But what's your theory, Josh?
Well, I agree with you, and that's what I used to think. But it dawned on me the other day why, on a subconscious level, Titanic has stood the test of time. It came out in 1997, right at the end of like the glorious 90s. And it basically prophesied what was going to happen. So you had this era of decadence, and things were good. But below the surface, there was an iceberg incoming. And so for people that are our age, you watch the first half of that movie, and it feels very 90s.
yeah.
And then the second half of that movie is like what movies became after the 90s. And all of the kind of the terrorism and everything that followed in the 2000s. So you have half of a movie that is this reminder of, oh man, the 90s were just so sweet and innocent and fun. That's how I remember it. So flowery, so great. But then the second half of the movie is like this nightmare, and that's what people feel like they've lived through since the 90s ended. Since 9/11 and all the wars and everything that followed.
Yeah.
And so that's what I think is on
That's a
some
great
level.
theory.
Yeah, that's why. And it's perfect because it's a 3-hour movie. One half of it is one movie, one half of it is another movie. And for people our age, we have one half of our life that was one way, and it feels like a second half of our life was a second way. And that's not entirely actually true, but for people our age, that's how it feels. And so that's why a movie as kind of corny and cheesy as the Titanic has stood the test of time, whether you realize it or not.
Wow, Josh, that's a great clip.